Man, probably a fun fact on me is that I
You
like to
don't?
read. I like to read. That's a lost art nowadays. Oh, my great uncle is Jesse Owens. He won 4 gold medals in 1936.
I always want to leave people with this, man, to all the viewers and everybody out there, man. Make sure you guys finish your story. Make sure you guys finish your journey because somebody's going to need it.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is push the back button. That's all you gotta do. Push the back signal.
Try not to think about the future too much, so you can maximize the now.
Who's your favorite rap artist?
Man, to be honest, it's crazy. Tupac always been my number one, right? Like he got me through so much stuff, but Lil Wayne has been in the modern day.
I said, what does it really take? What does it really take to be great, Drew? And he looked at me and he was like, you really want to know? And he was like, to be honest, everything you did to get here, you need to be consistent times 10.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, everybody out there doing tonight. Welcome to the Nothing But Basketball Show. This is your boy, Coach Lee. It's Wednesday night. We back at it like we're mad at it. It's time to run one with your guys. Before we do that, holla my boy Toon from the Northeast. What's up, man?
What up? What it? What up? What it? How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's doing well. Hump day, middle of the week.
So,
Get your grind on.
man, people have no idea. We run a little bit late tonight because we behind the scenes talking about sports.
Talking about sports, man. You know what I'm saying? Pretty interesting Wednesday night. So, you know, we got Coach over there, you know, supporting his Mavericks, you know, and I'm just all around.
FFL, baby.
Yes, sir. Dirk Nowitzki, shout out to that man. Retirement party tonight for overall great career. It's not a lot of people that did what he did in terms of staying with a franchise forever and hoisting a championship. Takes a lot of dedication and sacrifice to stay with a team for that long, through all that pain, suffering, ups and downs, and the happiness too. Shout out to Dirk.
Man, real quick nugget, a lot of people don't know that whole time Dirk was with the Mavs, he never had an agent. He represented himself the entire time.
Represented himself, and that's how he straight played basketball, like himself, no other.
But man, it's good to be up here with you as always, brother. Got some great topics for y'all tonight. Hope we get some feedback. Remember, get in there, get your comments up in here, chop it up with your boys, and we can we'll go from there. So, man, we got some big Wednesday night, like you say, big exciting news. The first one is, guess who's back?
Guess who's been Zach? Let's drive up.
Uncle Drew back in the house.
Uncle Drizzy back in the crib today. Kyrie Irving, of course, you know, he's not vaccinated, so he'll be playing just away games. He is returned tonight in Indiana, where so far it's not looking too good on the net side, at least as is a 56-71 lead Indiana. Lance Stevenson's actually the star of this game. But the reason why we talk about Kyrie first is because this was a season-long, you know, triad, you know, from him being able to get on the court, from him speaking his mind, from the media, you know, really just hating on him because of his stance. It was more of a stance than just his actual ball play, which was really disrespectful. So the question leans, man, how do they have to continue to win? If they don't win, how do they react to Kyrie then?
I think it's a lot of pressure on him. It's interesting that you mentioned that point. Just like, you know, even though he hadn't been there for the season, he still is a team leader on that particular squad. He still is an NBA superstar. He is still a polarizing figure in sports because of his stances on socialism. Social aspects. His stance on, you know, as far as responsibilities of the vaccine and the mandates and whatnot. So it's going to be polarizing. So I think it's going to be a unique situation where if they do, you know, if they're winning and they balling, he won't get any of the credit. Boy, if they lose, they going to come for him. They're going to get all the blame. And unfortunately, it's not fair, but it's just the way society is these days.
It's not. It is not at all. And I mean, that's kind of the situation they go into right now because the Nets are pretty decent right now. Second in the East right now. They've been playing good. You know what I'm saying? Had a few little cracks to start in the season. But adding Kyrie, I feel like it's the best possible situation to do, especially with this situation in COVID not going away and a flu virus or whatever it comes out in. When it comes down to your soldiers, man, sometimes some of your soldiers can't be used in the best way. But when it's time to use them, you got to use them. And I feel like having Kyrie, at least knowing that he can play in some games, that's something very, very good to back up on, man, when you need extra soldiers. Because a lot of teams going down the stretch, potentially in the playoffs, ain't going to have that. And Kyrie's an excellent road basketball player. And he's going to be playing just on the road. Perfect for a guy that's hated by everybody around the world.
And speaking of being hated, what do you think about the recent conversation that an NBA GM had where he was talking to someone about Kyrie, and pretty much the thought around it was he's a mess. He's a disaster in the locker room.
His life, if you want to say lifestyle, okay, I can dig that. But you can't speak to me about a guy who possesses that much talent on the basketball court. You know what I'm saying? The media people, what they get twisted is this is basketball. Y'all care about their lives off the court. Kyrie just wants to play basketball. And that's where the divide comes, and that's really, really harsh. You know what I'm saying? Divide. You know, if you can love this dude to be a basketball player, then that's all you should love him as. Anything else, you know, and I know people want to make stories. At the same time, he's going out there. You see the stat sheet. He's doing what he needs to do. Kyrie knows his stature. He knows his worth. So if you look at it right now, Kyrie got what he wanted. Not because he wanted to barge and be the boss, but because in life, you still should feel like you have a right. Regardless if you have a job in a big business or not. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the determined key in it. You know what I'm saying? If he's on the basketball court stinking it up, okay, then we hear it. But, and I was saying this on one of my shows the other day, you know what I'm saying? Don't let this COVID mess divide you. You know what I'm saying? If you bond was strong before, don't let it divide you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're only showing your true self to someone like Kyrie. Everybody says Kyrie betrayed the Nets. The Nets betrayed Kyrie. You know what I'm saying? And for the talent Kyrie has, he you couldn't really do nothing because New York's vaccination laws, you know what I'm saying, are really tight. But at the same time, they did him dirty.
Shout out to Kawan. He says they can't say lifestyle either because they don't know a person's lifestyle. They only know what they see outside looking in, and it's less than 20% of the truth. Facts.
Fact. Shout out to Quick. Shout out to my guy, Warriors fan right now. So Lee, they playing the Warriors right now. And if y'all can't beat the Mavericks, what y'all make y'all think y'all gonna beat the Lakers?
Hey man, leave my Mavs alone. We ain't that bad. We ain't the Rockets.
Man, Rockets, man, they got a whole bunch of problems, man, and I believe we'll be tapping in on their
will.
A little later on. But as we update the score, halftime Pacers 73, Nets 60, and if we look at here at our Ravelry box score, Kyrie Irving 3 for 7, 8 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds, you know. But the story of that game right now is Mr. Lance Stevenson riding with his guitar. And he's shadowing him right now, man, right off the bench with 24 points. He had 20 points in 6 minutes. Shout out to Lance on that 10-day contract trying to get more bread.
So, Kawan says Nets did not back Kyrie at all. Most teams supported their players. I think that's very crucial, man. They didn't give him a ring of endorsement. I'm thinking they're definitely having buyer's remorse, but as we all know, NBA contracts are guaranteed, so they kind of stuck with it unless they can find somebody to trade. But right now, he would have no trade value.
I feel like they did that because they rolled under New York, not knowing that the Brooklyn Nets can potentially be. I mean, and I understand New York because they're a big market, and at the end of the day, it don't even matter if Kyrie's playing in them. But ultimately, it does. You built a big arena in Brooklyn. You want this team to win championships. They already had one hiccup with Poltoroff when he traded basically for all the Celtics, and y'all lived through that. To the fact that y'all seen the Celtics go whoop-de-whoop 360. So y'all got to win now. So even if Kyrie could play 41 home games during the regular season and 17, 18 during the playoffs, you have them at least in a pocket. Because James Harden and KD, what they've been doing thus far with this Nets team, they've been holding the ship down. And the third piece is here now. So respect.
Right.
So respect on his name. What's up, Cedric? What up, Ced, man?
Salute. Appreciate you chiming in with us, man.
My fellow
Man,
Cowboy.
So we gonna definitely watch this. I know I'll be anxiously waiting for him to get back because I did pick him up in the late rounds of my fantasy basketball draft. But I think I forgot to start him tonight.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I still think obviously the defending champs are the Bucks. It still goes through them until they are dethroned. But if New York wants to have, Brooklyn wants to have the best possibility of dethroning the current champs, they've got to have all cylinders going. They've got to have everybody accounted for. And I don't know how they're going to do because it can be crucial in the playoffs if he can't play the home games. He play on the road, now you got to already start thinking about seeding and how they might play in. Because it's pretty much the inevitable that they will make the playoffs. But that seeding, do you really want the home court advantage at that point in time? Because, he won't be there for 4 of them, if it goes 7 games. So a lot of things to think about, a lot of dynamics going on.
Yeah, definitely. You just keep course, man. This is something that's gonna, like we've seen cities shut down. We've seen cities open back up. We've seen cities say, hey, we're going to have a mask mandate. Then they say we're going to off the mask mandate. We have a few states that are locked in. I just talked to Coach before the show, and Massachusetts is about to be added to the list. Just to know everybody don't know, after January 15th, booster shots are needed. After February 15th, you're going to have your second one at least. So it's going to be a lot of states that's locked in, but there's 30-something teams in the NBA. He ain't going to be locked away from everywhere. And New York and Brooklyn actually, and just like I said, they're a big city. New York is going to do what they want. But ultimately, they're missing out on mega money by Kyrie not being able to play in New York.
Shout out to Cedric again. He says, what do y'all think about super teams? Do it take the fun out of the game? Most definitely. I guess because my favorite team has never been part of a super team. They did dethrone a super team, but I think it does take it out of it, man, because I like the idea of it puts the organizations can have a quick turnaround or they can have a quick demise. I think that's part of the reason why, even though they brought KD in, but one of the reasons why I respected the Warriors, because they did initially build that team traditionally through draft picks and talent evaluation and development. Shout out to Maury Jackson. Same thing for the most part with the Bucks. They did have some key acquisitions, but their primary players homegrown. I'm just an old fogey like that. I've always been like that. Probably always will be like that. But it kind of sucks when you already know, kind of like the NCAA football playoffs. Yeah. Kind of got an idea who already is going to be in it.
Oh, yeah,
we know Cincinnati was in there this year, but Alabama's going to be in there. It's going to be at least 2 SEC teams. It can be Georgia, Auburn, depending on what's going on, Florida. But it takes the fun out of it. For other fans who have a team that may not start off like that or may not have a super team, it takes the fun out of it.
It does all that, but me, man, I'm a competitive guy. So if there's a stacked team in front of me, I'm approaching it the same way as if there's a terrible team in front of me, with the same aspect that I'm going to go out there and compete and try to get a W. Now, where these teams are assembled, yeah, man, there's a lot of, people like, damn, I don't like the super teams. But what we've seen in the last few years that pretty interesting is that yearly there's the dark horse, and the dark horse is actually overperforming. And what I mean by that is you see a team like Phoenix last year
That's true.
come that way and
Man,
ball
people
out,
be sleeping on Booker, man.
get to the finals. And then the Bucks homegrown their team. Giannis doesn't want to play with nobody, doesn't want to practice with nobody. So you're getting a lot of different demeanors in the league, which means to me, even if there's a super team out there, they're not fed. They're not fed. They got to go out there like everybody else perform because injuries are happening more and more and more at a high. And it's not for sure that these super teams are going to be together forever. Though the Heat, I won't say the Warriors, but the Heat, with that super team, it didn't last, but also you got to think of the effects of it. Chris Bosh, had, health issues and that sort, and you just got to fight through it. The Mavericks were able to fight through to win, get a championship off them. Golden State, though they was a super team, the Cavaliers, they want to say the Cavaliers had a super team, but the Cavaliers was able to overcome that and do them in. And the Lakers, a team that was not super, but added that piece of 1-2, come fresh out the bubble, and they look like, whoo, what happened? It's just a lot of things that can happen more and more nowadays. Like, I'm not scared of no super teams. Super teams don't make me fear the game. You know what I'm saying? It makes it more entertaining because when it comes down to the numbers and the finals and stuff, they still got to get there.
That's true. That's true. I guess part of it is again, I would sound like the resident old guy on here.
No, they weren't. No, quick, they weren't super. That 2020 season, they weren't super. There was a lot of teams that what people were saying that they was going to beat the Lakers. There was a couple of teams that won of those series, and everybody was talking like the Lakers were going to lose, and then they ended up beating them. 4 straight. More of the story is it doesn't matter if you got the best player in the league and the second best player in the league. You may not win at the end of the day. Somebody's hungrier. Somebody's looking like Giannis last year. Somebody's like, no, I need this. We don't need to name players. What name what players? J.R. Smith, Alex Caruso, Dwight Howard, Rajon Rondo. I'm naming players. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna tap in for a break, man. Stay tuned. Definitely appreciate y'all coming through, man. We'll be back in about 15-20.
Be right back. Shout out to you, Diggs, BTW. We see you.
Hey guys, it's your girl Tamara Moore, former WNBA guard and current head coach at Mesabi Range College. I want to give a big shout out to STWF Media, the big brand, for showing love and always being about those good sports. Make sure you guys show them love. You and your community can join them every week to talk about sports. Shouts out to them and make sure you check them out.
Yes, sir. Back at it like we're mad at it. So next up, we have Next in Line. And this is to the young man that plays for the Memphis Grizzlies and Ja Morant. Man, I don't know about you. He's must-see TV.
Must-see TV. He is the shining light thus far this season, and it's crazy because he missed games.
Right.
But just the overall approach at the season, man, it's really going to swell for him. Shout out to Bleacher Report for things that we were able to get blessed with from you guys. Ja Morant is closer to NBA elite superstar pairs than you think, and we talked about Ja since he first entered the league. Saying he was in the same class as Zion. We see what Zion is now, and Ja season by season has definitely improved his game each and every step of the way. the problem that I had with Ja last year in a lot of pivotal games was that he's so much to that franchise that it was like he had to carry all the luggage in terms of, when games were close, they were relying on him. And kind of fumbled in a lot of moments, you know what I'm saying? Though he had a spectacular playoffs last year. This year, I'm seeing in close games that he's able to not only deliver, but have a good mental mind state when it comes to it, not forcing anything, making the right decision, making the right play, making the right shot. Sky's the limit for this guy this year. You look at the Western Conference, and next week we hope to examine and go through the soon to be All-Stars. That Ja, after probably Steph Curry, will be an All-Star this year. And the development is in the growth is grooming real fast for him. Guy last week, LeBron went for a 37. Ja got 41 on him. Went into Brooklyn the other night and put on a show. This guy's not only going into small places, putting up numbers, but he's playing the bigger market teams and giving them the work too. Memphis is on the way up, man. I kind of disrespected Memphis' team coming into the year too, but this is of what they got. Steven Adams, Desmond Bain is really rocking it out right now. It was Dylan Brooks that was riding on the side with Ja. Now it's Desmond Bain. You know what I'm saying? And he's must-see TV. You gotta tune into this man. He's only gonna get better. Me personally, he's come a long way. I didn't have all the way high hopes of him in his NBA career, but I know the flashes and all that, you're gonna get something. But we're getting a whole lot of something. I would like to see Ja one day be in the slam dunk contest. That would really put me over the top with him. You know what I'm saying? Because though he doesn't want to be in it, I feel like he's the guy that can stamp that back there, right then and there.
Is he an all-star?
He's an all-star. He's an all-star this year. If I look at the all-star list right now, you Steph, Ja, you know what I'm saying? You want to go point guard, the OG CP might get in again, but if you look at other guards around, there's no way this dude does not get nods from the coaches at all.
Right.
And in the All-Star game, it's kind of fitting for him. Could be an All-Star game MVP as well, depending on how it's scripted.
See, right now he's averaging 25.1 a game, 6.7 assists, shooting 40% from behind the arc. So he's not just dunking. He's filling up the stat sheet.
He's filling up the stat sheet. He's not trying to be one-dimensional. He's definitely improved the offensive game, definitely improved the stroke. What can you say? You know what I'm saying? But this get a little stronger, which he really don't need to because, you know what I'm saying, he's doing whatever he wants. But it's going to be a good old career for him. He had a scare, too, in the beginning of the season. And ever since then, it's been up. And Memphis has actually looked good through all his absences with him there.
Right. They're on a 6-game winning streak.
Yes, he is. Cedric, man, Westbrook finally gets a game with no turnovers. Has he figured it out? This is the thing with that. I said last night, Westbrook's playing a little timid. The fact that he had no turnovers yesterday, I want everybody to know that was just entertainment purposes. That was just entertainment purposes. And you know what I'm saying? And it worked for today. But Russell Westbrook, like I said last night, he just needs to learn that the way you shade the media was the way you used to shade the media. You don't feed into it. You go out there, you just play your game. You're already a Hall of Famer. You've already done more than a lot than other people talking about you. And this is the comment of the day I'm going to say about Westbrook. And to everybody. Anybody that's talking about Westbrook's turnovers probably turning the ball over all their lives. You go in an NBA game, you go take the ball and do all that. went down court, whatever. Y'all couldn't even hold Westbrook's jockstrap. Y'all over here tripping. But shout out to Westbrook, man. You know what I'm saying? May not happen again. You know, but in all, still one of my favorite guys.
Understandable, most respect. Would you put Ja in consideration for league MVP?
Yep. Absolutely.
What would you rank him?
Rank him. I would rank him. Damn. Because LeBron missed games too. I would put him in the 4 range. I'll put him in the 4 or 5 range.
Okay.
Just because the ladder, he's going to improve. Hopefully, he don't get hurt for the rest of the season and he can move up the ladder. You got Steph there, obviously. Got DeMar DeRozan, you know what I'm saying, who's been putting up numbers. I mean, KD, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be a lot of people in consideration for that. It's going to be pretty interesting to see who gets it this year because it's going to be a long stretch in the second half of the season. And all these guys are hungry right now. It's a good thing for the league.
You know, I like the dog in him. It's a quote recently. After who they just beat? I think they just beat the Cavs, if I'm not mistaken.
The Cavs all night.
They went on that 13-0 run to close it out, but somebody was asking him, you know, about, you know, his motivation and stuff, but this is a quote from him. I don't fear nobody, dog. I don't care if you 7'7" or whatever. I'm coming straight at you. He's fearless, man.
He is fearless, man. He's fearless. He's came in there from day one. And, I mean, he had his doubters, you know, in the beginning. But like I said about Kyrie, man, when you go out there and you're so competitive like that and you know, you go out there every night and perform like that, when you deal with lifestyles, then you want to go into cracking somebody's lifestyle, then you just absolutely being a hypocrite because, you know what I'm saying? Like, people come with luggages, you know what I'm saying? People come with lifestyle that you don't like. But the thing is basketball. It's sports. This is what kills me in the sports nowadays because, like I said, sports used to be that place where you could just, you know, sit there, hide under the covers, and everything is good. The cold ain't coming under the covers. And when you bring bring people's lifestyles all the time, more lifestyles than actual ball play, it just disgusts me. You know, you're doing your job, you're doing what you need to do, but at the same time, it's like that's for us. You know what I'm saying? Guys that are on the come up to do. You know what I'm saying? But they want to take the lifestyle stories and then make them more of a story than the actual gameplay. Like,
right.
Westbrook today, they talk about LeBron and his nostalgia, and then they said, "Oh, Russell Westbrook had 0 turnovers." Isn't that what y'all wanted? It should have been a top story. It should have been a top story. But guess what? I'm just saying.
Hey, he's I think he's gonna be all right. He's gonna be they're still trying to find their chemistry. You gotta look at all the moving parts that they had this year.
Absolutely,
but,
man. Dwight Howard, man, a guy that has not got a lot of playing time. Got some playing time last night, and that's a guy that you need to insert more into your team play. You know what I'm saying? It's Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard is a guy that, you know, he's a Hall of Famer too. You got to play him. You got to play your horses. Got to play your men. I'm liking the smoothness of Malik Monk. He's starting to come along like he's supposed to. And I like that signing when they signed him. You know what I'm saying? I just honestly much smoother guard play behind Russ. You know what I'm saying? And we can get that, then it doesn't really matter what Russ does. Just don't overdo stuff. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the problem with Westbrook throughout his whole career is that he's been fighting his whole life just as much as everybody else, and people do it the same way. But he fights and he fights hard. So
that's true.
That comes with it. I'm not really mad at what he does, but when you see games where it's like, damn, you're not putting in the effort and you turn the ball over and you're missing shots, you can't do all three. Cedric, man, yes, COVID is changing sports. Comment was COVID is changing the sports world. Do we see rule changes coming for better or worse? If I'm hearing you correctly, rule changes in terms of the way they call games and things like that. With COVID, no, because if they're playing sports and they're doing that, obviously they want that bankroll. They're not going to shut down any of that. They're going to keep the rules the same, gameplay the same, all that. And these are contact sports. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if that was the case, then we'd be still shut down. We'll be talking about lifestyles. It'll be a much more appropriate time for the media to talk about lifestyles. If that was the case, that would be straight up crazy. The world would be generating nothing. Everybody would literally be outside right now chopping down trees.
You know, something now, obviously, we're dealing with, with the pandemic and how it's affecting. And great question to you, from Cedric as well. Yeah, I was coming with them fire questions too. Yes, but another thing, and it's probably for the best that it has caused a change. How especially when the NFL changed their rules as far as the injury reserve.
Yeah.
It helped there, so you got more guys with a chance to get jobs. The NBA currently, there's a big influx of like the 10-day contracts and things like that. You got the guys who have been stuck on the G League. They getting their chance to come into the league.
Hold on. The professionals are getting their stimulus checks this year. This is the year of the athlete. They ain't giving people free grants to play basketball again.
That's true. But a cool thing that's happened though, I like the way how it's trying to change. Even the everyday sports. Everybody kind of looking like us. They chilling at the house. They chilling at the office. Everybody don't have to be in the studio, and they providing insights and perspectives remotely. So that's been one positive thing that it's said with the sports, because it's opened up a whole different avenue for the professional broadcasters, for the beginner broadcasters like ourselves. We got the opportunity to chase a dream and whatnot. So that part's been cool. Travel time's been a little bit different. We talked earlier about the possibility of the Super Bowl getting moved to the
nice side.
Yeah, but
real side of the world
because of lockdowns and whatnot. But I think in regards to the NBA, because this is a nothing but basketball show tonight, it's been great to see it. You got guys able to live their dreams. You got guys who might come out of nowhere. I never would thought I would have seen, even though he's past his prime, but I've got Isaiah Thomas on a 10-day contract with the Mavs. Probably normally wouldn't have saw that. But everybody's getting an opportunity to bounce down, around the different teams.
Definitely, saying Raul is the last game, saying they may have some kids, that they had after their careers ended, and then they get these 10-day contracts, and the kids get to see them play. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him, like Brandon Knight, for instance. Brandon Knight, who he signed with? I thought it was Dallas, but I don't think it was. Brandon Knight actually got signed to a 10-day, and Raul just started just crying. It's like, damn, like, thank you for this opportunity. I don't care if nobody knows me anymore, all that. Fact is, man, I get to come back to, the NBA where I chased my dream to get here. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't end the way I wanted it. You know what I'm saying? But just, just even if it's a 10-day contract, you know what I'm saying? They have my name around, And you got all these professional basketball players and everybody that trying to be a basketball player in general, you know what I'm saying? It gives them a little bit much more, pride and some heart, some faith that, it can happen to them too. ISO Joe had a 10-day contract with the Celtics. Look at Ice Cube in the Big Three. He shouted out the Big Three for helping them get there. And that was why Ice Cube made the league, you know what I'm saying, for people to get a 10-day contract, a guy that's, somewhat in shape, and a lot of things are helping. Like, people say all these extra things from the Big Three to even the silly ass celebrity boxing. People might not like it, but it's opening up another floodline, for people in this world to get money. This is the thing right here. And I'm gonna say this, and I know this is a sports show. We've dealt with a crazy president the last 4 years before we announced this new one. And I'm going to say one thing about him that probably changed a lot of people's lives in this world, and it's not negative. The way he screamed money, he got the world screaming it. The motive is keep your families good, clean and all that. And I think that's one thing that he probably decided to people's minds. And I think that's why a lot of people, though they hate him, there was a lot of celebrities and people that actually, liked him or rocked with him before. Because the money, and that's what it comes down to, man, the money. They don't want to lose the money. They don't want to lose the money out here. So money's going to keep being generated by doing all these different things, man, because they know there's times where a lot of people don't like to watch, professional basketball no more. They want to watch guys that are YouTubers play 5-on-5s and get their name. They want to see that, so.
Why do you think that's the case? Accessibility?
NBA 2K. These video games. Like the whole shade of basketball changed, and if you watch 2K, people creating players going to the park, playing ball, like really go to a park playing ball. Like this is stuff that we wake up and used to do. Like, we going to the park to play ball. Now, even if you're not really playing basketball like that, you feel like you are in the virtual world, going to the park. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's unbelievable and troubling at the same time.
It's generating.
But I get it.
It's generating bread. I used to hate it. I still hate it. But I sit here and I'm like, if you're going to do it, make some cake off that, dog. You're going to go basketball court, make some cash off that. Try to get some cake. If you're going to buy the video game and play it all day, try to win some cake or something.
People do love to live the dream through video games, then try to translate it in real life.
Right. And it disrespects me because I actually grew up trying to perfect the craft. And there's people that are learning in 10 days to be basketball players, in a year to be a boxer. Like, if you told me it was that easy back in the day, woof.
He making a point. It's why Madden has face of the franchise. NBA 2K has my player mode. That's true. One of my favorite video games, and I still were fired up from time to time, NCAA football.
And it's coming back out next year.
The most fun part of that was the recruiting part of it.
Right.
How many 5-stars can you get?
Right.
And you take a team that's a bottom feeder and build them up into a perennial powerhouse. That part of it.
It's crazy. You get to create your schedule, all that. Create your own stadiums. And I can't wait till that comes back out again, because that might be, and I haven't touched a new video game in a long time. That might be the next one I'm touching. I thought it would be Grand Theft, but everybody keeps telling me that they just keep doing ill-ass updates. So,
Ain't nothing like, I'm showing my age again. We used to play that Coach K in college.
Oh, yeah, that Coach K in college, man.
Had those O'Bannon brothers going on it.
some nice fast food, man, chilling. Door open. Door open.
Well, let's go ahead and get to our next topic.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be back. We'll run a quick commercial. We'll be back by 15-20.
Let's get it.
That was good with the people. It's Montreal McNeander, NFL linebacker for the Cleveland Browns and Grambling alumni. I had to come through today. Give a special shout out to my dudes over at STWF Media, the big brand, where you can talk sports with the other NFL players, fans in their Facebook community. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go get them boys a shout out. Go check out their page. And I promise you, man, you're gonna love everything that you hear and enjoy.
Man, this next topic that was picked to talk about tonight, I don't even know where to start. But it definitely is a representation of poor behavior. This is in reference to the turmoil that's going on with the Houston Rockets, and particularly Christian Wood and Kevin Porter who have both been suspended for insubordinate behavior.
Insubordinate behavior in terms of John Lucas, assistant of the Rockets, had some words for the two, you know what I'm saying, and how they've been approaching games this season. And Christian and Kevin Porter didn't appreciate it, they didn't like it. I guess they left off the court. They didn't want to participate anymore. I think it was during the game. And yes, it was during the game. They were suspended for Monday's game against Philadelphia for conduct determined to the team. Wildwood is Lucius leading scorer at 16.8 points a game, and he's balling this season. These young kids need to learn that when you're talking to OGs, a certain tone, a certain way you approach them. The thing is,
professionalism, man.
All because John Lucas has been in the heart of basketball for decades. So I don't think a lot of these. Yes, I don't think a lot of these guys do their homework or look at past tense stuff. You know what I'm saying, in their profession. That guy right there might be one of the nicest guys that you'll ever meet. And for all that Houston's going through, he may be the guy that somewhat can keep you comfortable. And I just think these young guys just think because they're on a whack team, they can just do what they want and they know their season's over anyway. No, the point of this team is to try to build this team up. You know what I'm saying? Try to get there in a couple years to a level where hopefully you can, get playoff spots again and do all that. But two exceptionally good players. Kevin Porter, we already knew his situation with Cleveland. It's just a shitty situation to be in because them two players are smarter than that, and they should have been able to take that bite from Lucas and go on and continue to play basketball. But now you're just pitting Houston, who's already in turmoil.
Yeah, they're 10-27.
10-27.
Before Monday's game. And they have the worst record in the Western Conference.
First year coach. Who knows how he the hell's feeling? They already won him out.
The part that's kind of troubling, I didn't know. No, obviously, my better half is a Houston Teams fan, so she follows it more than I do. But Porter, he's only 21. Already playing on the second team. He got in a little bit of trouble. We're not gonna go into details of that. You can look that up yourself.
Yep, look it up.
But the part that stands out is, and as Coach Silas, the head coach of the Rockets, had stated, he had a spirited debate and lost his temper at halftime. But towards his tenure with the Cavaliers, he became upset that the team had given his locker space to a newly acquired player and got into a heated verbal confrontation with the GM.
With the GM, the team that took a blessing of you. Like, this is the thing right here. Your first few years in the league, that team that drafted you took you with the kindness of their hearts.
Yep. In advance, because they didn't know what they were getting. It was off of potential.
Exactly. Off potential. Yep. Bingo. Once you make your name and yourself in the league and Chincha, then you kind of know which way you can go. Obviously, Kevin has other issues, but his ball play, and in this sense, man, you stop making the lifestyle bigger. Stop having the media have something to talk about.
Yep.
The media don't want to talk sports no more. They want to talk lifestyle, and it's down you on your lifestyle. Go out there, perform, and be decent. If you was in a situation before in Cleveland, what makes you think that you're going to get a situation in Houston and it's not going to be chatted about?
Right.
Christian Wood, excellent star. This guy's going to make tons of money in the NBA. They got to be smarter than that. Don't fall on that train. Especially with a bad team like Houston.
Something you got to consider. He's young right now. He's living out his dream, playing in the NBA, making good money. But that money's going to run out at some point in time. Hopefully you've taken care of it. and you got a nice nest egg, so you or your family never have to work again. But in case you don't, or if you want to see what's your next chapter in your life, you can't burn bridges. You can't. You can now. I'm not saying it be no pushover. If you got a point that needs to be made, you can definitely do that. But unless somebody's coming at you the wrong way, you got to be professional about how you interact with people. At the end of the day, this is still a business transaction. You know, this is not you at the pickup game at the local rec. This is not you playing on NBA 2K at the park. This is not you, in the neighborhood games, whatever case may be. There's some etiquette and there's some expectations of how you interact. You
Absolutely.
don't want to be in a situation where agents don't want to work with you, teams don't want to take a chance on you, and after you're done, networks don't want to gamble with you because you've got a reputation as having spirited debates and losing your temper, as Coach Silas said on Monday.
Exactly. You don't need all that, man. They're dealing with enough. And y'all supposed to be the star players.
Cedric says, is there no more love for the game anymore, or is it all about fame and money? It's definitely about fame and money. I think the last apparent generation, when we sticking to the NBA, the last apparent generation where it seemed like it was really about the game, I'll probably say Kobe's era, where you stayed with one team. You know, you identify your sports identity with this particular franchise. But, is that because of free agency? Is it because of social media? What causes that? That disconnect?
What causes the disconnect? Yeah. Social media.
Everybody got a voice, huh?
Everybody got a voice. You gotta remember. Once upon a time in the NBA, the only people that had voices were the stars, the coach. May have a bench player or two, depending on how it was, and the GM. That's it.
But see, here's the thing, though. If you had a bench player that had a voice, he had put in work in order to get the credibility to do so.
Exactly.
Now dudes think they've arrived walking through the front door. You got to put in some time and effort. But everybody, it's about their own personal brand now.
It's all their personal brand. You know why? Because they're out there pushing their personal brand. And that's no disrespect to them because you need the cream more than perfecting your craft. That's why I always say, man, got to practice more than 2 days a week.
You do say that.
We practice more than 2 times a week. See, this is why we perfecting our craft, because we do this. See, we have this show 3 times a week. We're going to extend it and stuff, but we're working more than the NBA players. So you go figure that.
That's so true, bro. That's so true. Well,
say it all the time.
As pertaining to Christian Wood and Kevin Porter Jr., man, continue to work with John Lucas. That man's been through a lot. He's seen the bottom and the top of the NBA. He's a valuable resource. Utilize him to your advantage, because at the end of it, you want your success story to be a testimony for the next gen that's coming in. And they can say, you know what, this is what I went through coming in. This is how I handled this particular adversity. This is how I got from point A to point B. Use me as a resource. That's the part. And that's what a lot of people be forgetting. And that's why I get upset. People have spiritual debates. They talk about the greatest ever, things like that. I'm more of the new generation coming in, knowing the history of those that paved the way for them. Because if that previous generation had did what they did, then the benefits that they're getting right now, they wouldn't be able to afford those if it hadn't been for the predecessors. That's why a lot of people try to figure out how MLB has all the money that they make. Obviously, they make more games, attend, and stuff like that. But they've been around the longest because they live by that. The current generation pays respect to the previous generation, and the previous generation makes themselves accessible for the current generation. It's a partnership.
But don't you think, not money wise, but don't you think that hurts them, and that's why they're at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to professional sports? I call baseball the barrel, the barrel of the professional sports. I've gained more love for hockey than baseball, and I just feel like though baseball they live off morals, and like you said, all the new G's respect to OGs. I just feel like after the steroid era, it kind of just like, people like cheating. People like the people that cheat. You know what I'm saying?
And why the MLBs got passed? Because MLB does a terrible job of marketing their players.
Yes, they're the worst job.
They are the worst at marketing their players.
I don't understand
it. That's a lot of money they leaving on the table.
Right. They don't wear masks. They wear fitted hats. It's good to see them. We see NFL players with masks on, and NFL players nowadays are being more and more marketable daily. You know what I'm saying? You got the offensive linemen and defensive linemen, you know what I'm saying, out here strutting, showing themselves out now. You know what I'm saying? The field goal kickers are getting a lot of love now. You know what I'm saying? Like, baseball, that, I don't know how it's hard to market guys that wear fitted hats. You see them, all that.
Right.
Like, to play a 9-inning game and not be able to market somebody is crazy. I just went out there for 2-3 hours and performed for all the fans. Maybe this is what baseball should do to expand their market. Let me be real. Because I'm in the autograph world. I'm in the autograph world. This is what they should do. After the games, they should have like real live sessions, not like people like sneaking and trying to wait for people in the back and stuff. They should have like real life sessions, like scheduled autograph sessions with these baseball players to see how that generates a bit. You know, you want to put a price tag on it, do it. You don't have to put a lot on it. You know what I'm saying? But something like that can market the game for. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's why they market themselves and want to play in big markets like Boston, New York, Atlanta, LA, and etc. Totally agree.
Real. But I'm gonna be real. But those markets are only big markets because what baseball used to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna be real. I'm in Boston. I'm in Massachusetts. They don't. I mean, they market Big Papi. They still market Big Papi out here. Big Papi hasn't played for the Red Sox in who knows how long.
About what? About 15 years, maybe?
Yeah, played in Boston. Like, some people they do. Like, they don't really market nobody like that. Like, even in a big market town, baseball town like Boston, they don't market nobody. You probably hear about a high school baseball player, high school basketball player before you hear about a baseball player. Unless you're a real ESPN fan and you know the players on the team, the Devises in the world, and you know the JD Martinez's and all that. Like, if you're out west, it's probably different because, you know, I feel like out west and south, they're really like the players are being pushed to the extreme so much that they are being marketed already before they even hit high school or something.
I misspoke. So much attraction. Big Papa retired in 2016. I thought it was longer than that.
Man, these people are, see, this is not the 80s no more, 70s. None of that stuff is cracking out here in Massachusetts. None of that stuff's cracking.
This part right here. He says they go there for the opportunity to do other things after baseball, movies, and shows. Which goes back to what we just got done talking about with those two youngsters acting a fool in Houston. You don't take away your future blessings, right? Because you got a bad reputation.
I just feel like it's like morals. The only reason why they go to those same markets is because of morals. Like, they grow up to see that those are the places to go. And the fact that baseball is the bottom of the barrel, those teams at the end of the day is still the teams that, you know, with the Atlanta had the, you know, for seasons and seasons crawl all the way back up. Now they're the World Series champions. So now they can get that mojo and to get that mojo going again, that 90s mojo, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But they didn't really have to. But now that since they won a World Series now, it's a little bit more traction that's going to pop up. Cool. LA's always had it. New York's always had it. Boston, Miami. It's only because Boston, since the beginning, Boston's been there. So it's kind of like they don't have to market.
No.
They don't have to market.
It's got the history.
They feel like they don't have to market because it's like, we're the Red Sox. Since the early 1900s, we're prestige. You don't have to market. Like all these teams in Massachusetts besides the Patriots and the Bruins. No, probably like the Patriots. And the Red Sox win championships, all this and that, boom. They don't really have to do nothing. But the Celtics, for instance, man, they don't give the city what they want. One thing I can say about the Patriots and the Red Sox, they give the city what they want. They don't market them. They market you with some Dunkin' Donuts, you know what I'm saying? If the Patriots win every Sunday, you know what I'm saying, you get a free coffee. And then they stopped doing that promotion because, you know, they was winning too much. They was winning every week. Yo, there was one point, Patriots Tom Brady winning every week. Every day you go in there, you get a free coffee. Every Monday, Patriots win, free coffee.
Man, we're going to power through, go to the last topic, because I'm really anticipating this topic.
Yes, sir.
This one is pertaining to the early East All-Stars.
Yes.
So it's that time of the year. It's that time of the year. So right now, as far as the East, the backcourt starters, Trae Young, DeMar DeRozan. You agree with that?
I agree. Stella, I agree with it. On top notch, man, Trae Young, DeMar DeRozan. We just seen Trae Young the other night put up an amazing 56 points. Though it was a loss. But that man, when you talk about
second in the league,
got it.
Going.
Yep, second in the league score. Pin him the clip, man. I believe that him and DeMar DeRozan, the most unique all-star backcourt that we're ever going to see. And we talked about DeMar earlier, man, you know, the triumph in his career from going to Toronto to end up in the spot Chicago early on in the season, having that wave, you know, the credit and the love that, you know, you felt like you should have gotten throughout your whole career and you didn't. You know what I'm saying? They say they throw your roses when it's too late. You know what I'm saying? But blissfully for DeMar, still got time. The hoop, the ball out, man. And it was an overall smart decision to go to Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Not to go
Great
home.
Decision.
I feel like mentally it would have fucked him up if he went back home.
He wanted to.
You know, he wants to go home. He wants the itch to go home. But DeMar, when your career's over, bro, you can go home. That's the thing about it. The thing about it.
The dirty Q-tip on his shoulders.
You can always go home. You can always go home. You know what I'm saying? And that's the best thing in life. You can always go back home. You know, you don't got to rush back to go back home.
Front court. Greek Freak, KD, and B.
Solidified. Shout out to Joel Embiid, man. Pin up that work, man. Shout out to the 76ers basketball team.
They went through their own stuff. They're going through it.
Keep doing it. And shout out to that, man. You know what I'm saying? Because that brings another level of Joel Embiid. Early on in the season, it didn't look like Joel Embiid was going to, you know, gain any leadership, you know, skills because he was feeding into the media with the Ben Simmons stuff. Though he's a superstar and he has to answer questions. But I feel like this overall undercover, nobody will talk about it. We got to start talking about leadership with Joel Embiid, though that he likes to be funny a lot of the times. But it's a strong leadership move when you have your star player, you know what I'm saying, weathering the storm, something that he's never been through in his career. You know what I'm saying? He's about life, enjoying life, going on the basketball court and competing. You know what I'm saying? So when you got a guy who's in the media, who's your teammate, who you've been riding with for years, and you're in the center of answering questions about him, it kind of gets tricky at times because sometimes your answers might be different based on how you're feeling that day. You don't want to hear about that all the time. I still got to perform. We still got a team here behind us to back us up. That's why I like the Nets for the whole Kyrie thing. They kind of said, hey, Kyrie knows how we feel about him. We'll talk to Kyrie like after basketball games and things like that. But right now, when we're in the confines of this room and he's not here, it's about the team. And Kyrie knows that. And that's why I feel like, though, you know, people are still going to question them bringing Kyrie back, that's love. They have love for each other. That's why they came there in the first place. COVID was just a bump in the road. They had to try to maneuver how they can, you know, make the best situation for both parties.
Right.
But that All-Star team, man, in the East so far, we're going to tap in the West next week. We should have put both of them on there. But, add a little spice for next week. And can they be beat?
We're definitely looking to see how that goes. NBA, football's got full attention right now, but we know it's that time of the year where it's a full go.
Full go right after All-Star break.
The playoffs.
You know it.
Who you got for shout-outs tonight, brother?
As always, man. Can't be no live, can't be no show, can't be no burst of energy without you guys on the comment screen. Everybody that tapped in tonight, appreciate you guys. Continue to tap in, continue to show love to us, and we'll show love right back. All it takes is a peek, a share. Anything helps us, improve our skills. Thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy your Wednesday.
Hey, appreciate y'all, man. Everybody that who chimed in tonight, as Toots, had mentioned, y'all help make the show. We support one another around these here parts. Sound very Texan on me, but it's what it is. But we support one another around these here parts. Just being able to continue to grow, develop, and as my partner said earlier, we're working on our craft. We can't practice twice a week. So, new season for us, 2022 is here. If you've been with us last couple of years, this is the time of year we start working on new wrinkles. New shows start getting chimed up, ideas, whatnot, feedback. So get in here, man. Join the group. Share our stuff. We got new exciting stuff coming your way. We're going to bring you that hot fire. Well, that's what we do around these here parts, man. But we appreciate y'all. Be here for the next show. Check out the group. We posted, the topics in the group, the times and whatnot. Try to chime in some interest. But like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. But continue to support us. We appreciate y'all. And until next time, have a good night. Peace.
Take care.